What the is going on? I don't know, man. Everything's going to crap. Oh no! Oh wait, there's a broadcast. It's an Avengers level threat. An Avengers level threat? What is it? Somebody's got an opinion on the internet. Oh, that truly is a threat of all time. Oh, fuck this. Alright, welcome back to Martial Geeks. And it's time for yet another video about philosophy and martial arts. And it is the third installment, I guess, now, because it's sort of becoming a series on Mizner's stuff, on Himi Tai Chi, and specifically about the claims that you can touch somebody, they'll fly away. And then that's real, that's actually happening. Recently, this video has been getting a lot of traffic, a lot of people commenting, a lot of fascinating discussions, good and bad, and all in between. And it really made me think, because there's a lot of cool stuff to address here. And we even got a person who claims to be a scientist. Now, here's the crux of the thing. I'm saying claims to be a scientist, and I don't mean that as sort of an insult type thing where I don't immediately accept that they're a scientist. Because genuinely I had a very nice conversation with this person and we ended up agreeing on the important things. And more often than not in these very pedantic type of discussions, usually most disagreements end up being just confusion from the get-go, from either not setting up points clearly enough, which I'm probably guilty of in that video. But regardless, it was a super fun conversation, and I'd urge you to read it if you find it on this video, because there's a lot of cool stuff about propositional logic and science that we both discussed. But back to that specific conversation, I said it's a person who claims to be a scientist. And again, just for the record, I don't mean that as in any negative way. It's simply that there specifically is at the core of my thoughts on Mizner. So we know that most people that we engage with aren't scientists, especially on the internet. So it wouldn't be reasonable for me to go and assume that everybody's everything that they immediately say in the comments, which this person likely is really a scientist. But that shouldn't be my default position. And this is what this video is going to be about the default position. So when people tell me, and other skeptics and people who criticize this type of stuff, they say, well, you can't have these opinions until you go and meet with Mizner and see that it's real or fake. But most of them expected and really think that it's real. The problem with that is, as I explained to the scientist gentleman in the comments, my default position isn't driven by my positive claim that this is all fake. Not at all. My default position is not convinced. I'm not saying I believe this is all fake. It's simply I don't believe that it's real. Because it's a default position and I don't hold burden of proof for a default position like that. Because if my default position was, okay, so I believe right from the start that this is real, that Mizner touching people, whoop, and they go and jump in all these various ways, that's all real. From the get-go, I should be accepting every such other claim by other masters who do not belong to Mizner, and to anybody claiming stuff like this, I'd have to accept that George Dillman is also doing legit stuff. If that were my default position, I would have to go and check every single one of those schools, because then I would have to personally get convinced by each one which is real and which isn't, which, as I said before, makes no sense. If I were just accepting all of these claims, I'd run to contradictions, because one person like Mizner might be saying that it's due to chi or whatever method the touch thing works. Then some other person that showcases almost the same stuff might say that it's from this completely other type of magic, and you'll run into contradictions where both of them can be true. So it would be ridiculous for me to have a default position where I accept contradictory claims. That's not reasonable. I start from the point of disbelief and have to be convinced. And here's the thing, if Mizner fans are watching this, my opinion shouldn't matter to you. Like, you obviously believe it for this or that reason. I'm just telling you why you won't convince a skeptic like me, and why most people in the martial arts sphere, and why all skeptics don't accept stuff like this. Even outside of martial arts, similar claims have been made for a long time. Take a look at someone like the amazing James Randi. He's done amazing work with supposed psychics and mind readers and people who claim that they have magic powers and this and that. And the biggest problem is, even if we, for the sake of argument, say maybe one of those truly is real, maybe all these are fake, but you never know, maybe just one person truly has magic powers. The problem is that for every single one of those claims, including that hypothetical person, there is a simpler alternative that actually comports to our reality. Like Occam's razor, which can be used in this sense as the simplest explanation is the most likely. And a simpler explanation to a lot of these magical claims are that these are mundane tricks performed, because that comports with all the other information that we have about how the world works, versus this being a truly magical one person. And it's really interesting because there's this very Humean sentence, and honestly, I've only read one book by David Hume, but I've spoken to a lot of people who've studied Hume extensively. But don't quote me on that, but I think it's a thing that he coined, and it's rejecting the higher miracle. And what that means is, if people accept that there is internal chi energy like the Force in Star Wars, if that's already a given, if we already accept that, then some people managing to perform some sort of powers, like Mizner or whatever, through chi, if they've already accepted existence of it, to them it's much less extraordinary to accept that somebody could have used it or bent it. So to me and other people who think like me, whenever such thing is performed, it's extraordinary. From a default position, you aren't convinced. But to these people, because they already accept the higher miracle, the smaller miracle is less extraordinary. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Isn't about what is extraordinary and what is ordinary. It's just about the proportion. But that's why this is a problem, because the existence of the higher miracle hasn't been demonstrated yet. So no lower miracles can sort of hinge upon the higher one. That's why you should reject the higher miracle. That's why you shouldn't accept non-demonstrable positions. And that's why I don't actively say 100% I know that this, that, and whatever is 100% fake and is not real. I'm just not convinced that it is. Because then I would be adopting burden of proof, because I would be claiming that somehow I have proven that this is fake without actually ever meeting Mizner or putting it to the test myself. So that's why I don't hold that position, and that's where the core of the discussion was with the eSpa account science guy. So yeah, I'm not sure where this video is really going. Outside of that one big nice discussion I got with this guy, there were also other commenters that more or less said the same thing. And most of them go, you should go there and fight Mizner, and only after that you can make your freak opinions, and stuff like that. Now, this is an example I really like, and it's not directly analogous, but I think it can demonstrate the point very well. Besides all of that I just spewed for who knows how many minutes, this simple thing is enough. So, this right here, is my beautiful little Latrodectus spider. That's a black widow. Latrodectus elegans, that's the Latin name. And it's a quite a dangerous spider that you shouldn't get bitten by. Now, I've never been bitten by a black widow spider. So, should I go and get bitten to determine if it's truly venomous? Or should I trust my default position that I've reached through basic logic, which is that, oh, I trust the science and I trust the previous thinkers who are way better than me, that they have determined because of the mountains of evidence that these spiders are dangerous, right? And so, to bring it back sort of analogously to the Mizner thing, I don't have to go there myself and prove that this is fake to hold that position, because I don't hold that position in the first place. I'm just not convinced that it's real. That's all. Yeah, so as I said in those comments, I don't write scripts. I prefer to have it done this way. I just cut it up wherever I breathe in weirdly or screw up my words or whatever. But I feel like that this is a bit more honest, and I think it shows, and I think it's better than the script. But maybe my thoughts don't end up as clear as I'd sometimes wish that they were, but I can always just make another video to improve on the points or explain things better. But yeah, this is the video, and don't have much else to say. Hope you actually enjoyed this video. Not sure how long it's gonna be. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take care.